Hey, if you needed more motivation to have the best DC summer ever, this is it. District Bridges' Summer Bucket List runs June 15th to August 15th across DC. Here's how it works. Earn points and climb District Bridges' leaderboard by supporting local businesses, attending cool events, and crossing things off your summer bucket list. Top players can earn up to $250 in local business gift cards just by visiting pools, exploring museums, and sipping frozen cocktails. It's the ultimate DC staycation. Show some love for the city we call home. Join the summer bucket list and celebrate what makes DC truly special. Sign up now and track your progress at districtbridges.org/DC Summer Bucket List. Today on CityCast DC, hey, as you may have heard, there is a massive military parade planned for DC on June 14th. Though our city is built for mass gatherings, this kind of military display is actually rare. The last one was in 1991, and it comes with a lot of challenges. Like, can DC's streets even handle the weight of modern tanks? We're about to find out. Less dramatically, the $45 million extravaganza also promises some awkward politics, a lot of visitors, and a number of traffic hurdles. Cuynet Dil from Axios has been covering it, and he's here to tell us what he knows. And stick around afterwards to hear from our CityCast neighbors shouting out their favorite local spots. Today is Tuesday, May 27th. I'm Michael Schaefer, and here's what DC's talking about. Hey, Cuynet.
Hello, my friend.
So you've been reporting some on the military parade. It's what everyone seems to be talking about. What do we know about it? First of all, is it actually going to happen? Is it confirmed? Because I've seen weird indications both ways.
Yes, sir. I think it's confirmed because the Pentagon had meaning a bunch of journalists this week, and they told us the plans of the Army for their birthday week. And these are pretty confirmed plans. They have a whole parade route ready on Constitution Avenue. They have tanks already leaving from Texas to reach DC. They have heavy machines and helicopters, over 50 of them, and a flyover scheduled. And there's a parachute jump at the end, actually, where parachutes will touch down on the ellipse and give President Trump a folded American flag. And while they're not honoring this, it is also his 79th birthday. So this parade will go on June 14th. It'll be the Army's 250th anniversary and also POTUS's 79th.
How much is it going to cost?
So they're looking at around 25 to 40 million. This with the caveat that it doesn't cover the security on the day, which is a inauguration level security event. So the Secret Service is going to have to spend a bunch of money, maybe local police as well. That accounting, we don't know, but up to 40 million is what the Army is saying they're spending.
Do we have a sense of what the damage could be in terms of the local budget?
So the Army said any damage by their 68-ton Abrams tanks or their other machines will be covered by the Army if there is damage. They don't expect damage, but they're putting down metal plates to prevent these Abrams tanks from damaging the road when they're turning. And they're going to have other machines as well and war vehicles. So the Army's saying they're going to cover any damage, but that was the concern that Mayor Bowser had, is ripping up the roadways with this parade.
Oh, geez, that just meant damage, like how much is it going to cost the budget, like to lay on extra cops budget? Or whatever. Yeah.
We don't know. So, yeah, it's an incomplete accounting. The Army says that's how much they're spending, but we don't know what other federal agencies, and we don't know what locally this might cost for MPD overtime or that kind of a thing.
And has the city, our government, played any role in the planning or making it happen?
No, it looks like this is really the Army. And, I'll just say it's kind of funny. They brought us in the press to talk about this, and the Army spokesperson was kind of like, this is a part of the Army's 250th birthday anniversary. We have events in Poland and Korea and all over the world and all over the country and all this on that week. And, I guess we have a festival or a parade too that you guys might be interested in. So it was kind of funny. They're kind of downplaying this because this was a last minute addition that President Trump really has wanted for a long time. And they didn't say it was the president saying, hold this parade, but come on, like this aligns with what President Trump has wanted. He's wanted to host a military parade, and it's added on to this 250th anniversary now.
Well, right. So you did all this reporting about the logistics and how many soldiers and where they'll be and so on. But the local yokel question that we always ask for a big event like an inauguration or World Pride or whatever is, like, how many people is it going to bring to town? Are there any estimates of who's coming? Will they stay? Will this inject some money into the city economy? Will we have to deal with people on the street?
The Army estimate are 200,000 people for June 14th. So that includes their festival on the National Mall, which is going to have a concert, a competition, fitness competition, an NFL zone for kids. And then the evening parade, also part of that whole day long, has a fireworks ceremony at the end. And that's the Army's estimate for how many people will come.
Can people like me, can regular civilians just take the metro down and go to the parade? Do you have to have a ticket to the grandstands?
You do need a ticket. It's free. You can get them now online on the Army's website, but there will be a checkpoint, and it's open to the public, though.
I don't know about you, but this summer I am looking to travel figuratively as much as possible. Save some money and hassle, but still have fun, enriching cultural experiences without leaving the district. That's why I am so excited about Mosaic Theater's production of Andy Warhol in Iran, a fictionalized account of Andy Warhol's real-life trip to Iran. This play is more timely than ever, raising striking questions about art, celebrity, and revolution. Andy Warhol in Iran runs at Mosaic Theater May 29th to June 29th at the Atlas Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now at mosaictheater.org. Hey folks, every summer it's hard to decide what kind of vacation do you want to take. Do you want a relaxing natural getaway, or do you want a new cultural artistic experience? Luckily this summer you don't have to choose. The Williamstown Theater Festival runs July 17th to August 3rd among the beautiful Berkshire Mountains in northwestern Massachusetts. It brings over 130 artists to the stage for nearly 100 performances. Discounted hotel rooms are available now. Go to WTFestival.org and immerse yourself in theater this summer. That's WTFestival.org. Trump was apparently, inspired by seeing a Bastille Day parade in France.
I was your guest at Bastille Day, and it was one of the greatest parades I've ever seen. It was 2 hours on the button, and it was military might, and I think a tremendous thing for France and for the spirit of France. To a large extent, because of what I witnessed, we may do something like that on July 4th in Washington, down Pennsylvania. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you. When I think of like big military parades, I think that doesn't seem particularly American to me. It's something I associate with like foreign governments.
Yeah, we don't do many parades here. No,
that's not entirely, but it's not that we never do them. Have there been others in this space?
The last time there was one was in 1991, and that's when President George H.W. Bush honored Gulf War service members.
Good evening. It was the biggest victory celebration the nation's capital has seen since World War II. The men and women of Operation Desert Storm paraded proudly through Washington today in a jubilant official welcome home.
That was the largest military procession since World War II in D.C.
Reporters rush out to relay the news to an anxious world and touch off celebrations throughout the country.
These things don't really happen. In fact, the question came up, did they do anything for the 200th? And no one at the Army, to their recollection, could say that there was anything like this held for their 200th either.
So is there anyone who's sort of against this as a matter of like military parades feel a little bit dictatory?
There's going to be a counter event starting at Meridian Hill, and then they're gonna, I guess, march down as well within earshot maybe of this parade. I don't know what their plans are, but there's a protest or demonstration at least against the idea of a military parade on that day as well.
So DC, for all of the attention to this, DC is a city that is built for huge gatherings, parades, festivals, inaugurations, protests. And I'm curious about the readiness for this. When Trump wanted to do this in his first term, the pushback was that these tanks could really damage the roads, which, I always wondered if that was a legit pushback. But is the city ready for this?
The city is gonna get ready because it's happening. So this is maybe a little last minute just because the stands for the president where he's going to sit at the ellipse aren't even, I don't think they're even begun construction on that yet. The White House is handling that, by the way. The Army doesn't really know what's happening with that part of it. There are a lot of things that are still moving, but the Secret Service is handling the security of it. Now, I remember, I think it was inauguration week or the 2 weeks within inauguration week where we had three of these big national special security events where the Secret Service dials up security. So one of that was for Jimmy Carter's funeral. And this city can activate pretty quickly when it comes to big security events and welcoming crowds. So I think this is something that's part of the city's DNA.
And it's weird that our roads wouldn't be inherently built for tanks then.
Well, look, the Army said when these things are going straight, there's not going to be much damage to the roads. It's when they turn, so they're laying down metal plates, which aren't that unusual on roads to see metal plates sometimes for construction. So they're going to put them down, and then when the tanks are turning, they'll prevent any damage, I guess. But I mean, tanks are war machines. I mean, you kind of I don't know, like, is that the point kind of? If you're an invading army, you want to rip up the roads as you go along? I don't know.
Well, not if you want to occupy the place afterwards.
You might have to patch it back up.
And then you wrote that the soldiers who are participating in this, they are going to be billeted in the Department of Agriculture?
Yeah, so, well, I don't know the office exactly, but they are split between two government office buildings. They're going to be soldiers sleeping in cots. The Pentagon said they're going to have their MRE meal ready to eat pouches, but they're also going to have $69 per diem. So presumably some of these people will go out into the city and I guess put some money into the bar scene, restaurant scene, economy, as you alluded to.
The Doge era optics of that. You know, we're kicking employees out of offices and putting up soldiers there for big spectacle parades.
Yeah, right.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So this is also it's scheduled for, as you said, Trump's birthday, but also it's right in the middle of World Pride, which is, you know, a global LGBT event that Washington is hosting, that they've thrown around figures like a million people will come for some part of it. Does this like complicate the logistics from the sort of city policing perspective?
The parade's going to be pretty compact on Constitution, so sort of from the Lincoln Memorial to the Monument area, and they're going to try and keep the events contained and the disruption minimal. Like the plates aren't going to be put on the road until as close as possible to the event itself. And then the festival itself was planned way in advance, so that's not particularly new. There's a festival on the mall that day.
Wait, what's the festival on the mall that day?
Festival on the mall. The Army will be very glad you asked. They have a whole rack of events from I believe 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. until the parade gets going. There's a fitness competition between soldiers. There's NFL Kids Zone where the Commanders coach Dan Quinn will be there. They'll have some period war vehicles there for people to look. So it's kind of going for family friendly vibes and also displays of the Army's 250 years at the mall. And that's during the day.
So for the critics of this, I mean, give me your read, whether we're talking about in the first term, what the tanks would do to the roads, or just the people's feelings about military parades or the cost. How much of that do you think is people freaking out because it's Trump and the District of Columbia in general doesn't like Trump versus sort of these are normal concerns about a big event?
I think it's definitely about President Trump, who he's the one who's wanted this. And I think it's obvious the city doesn't like him, most of the city. And it's the kind of spectacle that a producer, as someone who goes to other countries and wants to one up them, is someone who talks about the military a lot more, would only do. But, you know, in America, you don't have these kinds of displays of military strength on the streets. We just don't do it. So obviously the city already doesn't like him, and now he's trying to put another stamp on the city as president.
And is the idea he's going to be watching this and there'll be some, major reviewing stand with the president and insiders right by the White House?
Yeah, we're interested in who is going to be in that stand. Who will he invite? Who will he not invite? Is General Milley not invited? Presumably he's not invited. And what it'll look like. So we don't know. The White House is handling that, we were told. And we don't have any details or construction of it. But another part of the ceremonies will be he's going to administer the oath to 250 soldiers who are enlisting or re-enlisting. That'll be another Trump component of this evening parade. And then the fireworks will happen.
And then I got to ask the ultimate local question, which is which streets are going to get shut down?
Yeah, so there is a procession that's going to start from, it's not part of the parade, but part of the route from the Pentagon over the Memorial Bridge into Constitution will be impacted because they got to move some vehicles there. Tanks will be stationed at West Potomac Park nearby. So they're going to have to obviously be moved. So once we get closer to June 14th, we'll have more info on the road closures and impacts. But obviously the parade route is from 23rd to 15th. So expect that to be impacted on June 14th to start with.
Are you going to be there?
There are a lot of media seats. So I might go. Yeah, I might be there.
All right. Cuynet loves a parade.
It is a bit of unique history for sure.
Well, hope you'll come back and tell us about it.
Yeah. Have me back on. I'd love to.
And thanks for being here, amigo.
Thanks, man.
Before I go, today we've got a couple of shout outs from our CityCast DC neighbors. Jillian M. wants to shout out Flow Yoga Center. She said she went for the yoga and stayed for the community. Samantha D. is staying caffeinated at her local espresso pop-up, Black Crown Collective. She loves to focus on sustainability and community within the coffee industry. And Adone W. wants to let you all know she's obsessed with Grounded DC. She's calling it the Holy Trinity of DC spots, the best plant store, coffee shop, and wellness destination, all rolled into one. Thanks, Jillian, Samantha, and Adone. And hold up a minute, we have a brand new member. Thank you to our newest CityCast DC neighbor, Lizzie P. Welcome to the neighborhood. You want to get shouted out and share your favorite local business or nonprofit on the pod? Become a CityCast DC neighbor and send us your shout out. We'll read it right here. Join today at membership.citycast.fm. That's membership.citycast.fm. And that's all for today here on CityCast DC. If you enjoyed the show, why not stage your own parade in honor of us? We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.